Alright, so I'm just going to run through a procedure on our dual drop saw. We already have the stop set up the right length, so we don't need to mess with that, but if you did want to change the length, you simply loosen the screw and slide it in and out. In order to start a cut, you want to raise the drop saw all the way up. There's a lever on the back side. If you pull it back, it'll lock the saw in place, push it forward, and the saw is free to drop. Now, the second thing we want to go over, there's a vise on here. It's not a traditional screw style vise. It's a toggle vise. So if you want to drop the stop down into the path of the part, we'll push material into the stop. And simply push the vise all the way up into the part and then toggle it closed. And that should provide decent clamping force. It's not as tight as a screw style vise, but for most things it works just fine. Now, in order to actually turn the machine on, we have a black start button here. That should start everything. There's also a coolant system hooked up in the bottom down here. We've been using water-based cutting, or a water-soluble cutting fluid mixed with water. The water tends to evaporate pretty quickly, so we just keep adding water to it. It all comes through this little valve here. We've had some issues with the valve getting clogged, so we can just actually pull this hose right off with just a straight pull and then blow air through it, and that tends to solve the problem. We can go ahead and make it count when we have good coolant flowing. That's a bit more than we need, but it never really hurt anything that too much. Last thing I want to point out is we have an adjustable speed setting for this material. We were probably cutting that a little slow because we were cutting brass. We actually had the band speed cranked all the way down to 105 feet per minute. Well, in order to change the speed, first we need the motor running. Then you simply turn this wheel. And you can run the speed up and down. In order to change out the blade, we have a couple of covers we can open up, depending on where the saw is sitting. They may or may not be able to open. All you need to do to take the blade off is just turn this wheel, and actually, it's kind of counterintuitive. You pull the wheel away, so you actually loosen the wheel. And it looks like it's coming away from you, and it looks like it should be pulling the saw tighter, but the saw is actually moving the opposite direction, and it's loosening up. So now the blade's pretty loose. If I loosen it more, I'd be able to, and there it goes. So now, if you want to run it back on, just push that down, push the other end down, and then have your friend run that wheel back out. Pretty straightforward. For this machine, we have a preset stop on here. There's a little screw. And it sits right where you want the blade to stop for optimum tension. So just run it right around to there. Close everything up, you're good to cut.